All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nice cat. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Bon matin. All right, so interesting market, that's for sure. It keeps us on our toes. Uh, so let's review the market. Let's try to figure out again what the market will do. But honestly, I just stopped trying to know what the market will do. Uh, just quickly, I want to show the futures because I think the chart is cleaner without the gaps. Um, and look at that perfect VCP, guys. That's crazy. So early January, we were thinking that that was the last contraction. So we had that first big contraction in November, in December, in end of December slash January. Then it looks like we had yet another contraction in the last few days, and we just keep contracting and making those higher lows. Why while we're trying to make kind of a higher high. So pressure seems to build to the upside, but yeah, we never know. Uh, and my job is not to guess what the market will do. Everything that I know is the market is squeezed, a move is coming, and we're seeing those setups that we engage uh, in spec plays, um, and other type of stocks. But yeah, that's the picture that we have. No idea which side it will break out, but I just continue to let me just bring back TradersLab. So yeah, my job is to follow the trend, and the trend on QQQE is up. Price is above a rising 21-day mid structure, and for me that's when I engage, and when I want to stay engaged. All right, so when we are above a rising 21-day mid structure, for me it's focus on the setups, focus on the liquid leaders, focus on your portfolio. um, yeah, the last few days, weeks, even months sucks. We discussed that in the psychology channel this morning. Uh, the last few weeks and months require a lot of coping and having a different mindset. And you never know if a trade that you take will become a winner or a loser. And it started last year. SNDK, WDC is paying for all the losses and more because I do have still a year-to-date cushion, but it's paying for all the losses. So even if we had some nasty gap and big sell-off in Rivian, in Shop, in Reddit yesterday, that's the kind of market we're in. But as long as I still have traction and the internals and the market is still in a confirmed uptrend, then my job is to execute and position myself for a potential move. All right, that's all I can do. I don't want to anticipate. I don't want to stay in cash just to wait for the market to be clear. And the market always proved it. Yesterday again, the market gaps up. What it does, it fades. So if you wait for that strength to come in, it's usually too late and very hard to position, at least for a pullback trader. So my job is to wait for that weakness into the rising structure and execute and open exposure and see where it goes. Um, maybe it will not work, but that's the risk that I'm willing to pay to test those position and to put myself in a place, in a position to benefit if the trend really confirm itself. All right, that's always the same story. And I know it's frustrating. I answer a lot of questions and I see a lot of comments on X about the fact that people are frustrated. I get it. It's frustrating to take losses, but at the same time, you have to cope with those period of drawdown and those period of chop. They are part of the game, and I always traded the same way. So if you look at my performance and say, "Oh, this guy is always only in the nice uptrend and is able to stay out of all the chop period," that's false. I traded through a lot of chop period, and every time is the same thing. You put exposure, it goes nowhere, you take losses, you go back to cash, or you re-increase exposure because the market is setting up again in a big old VCP setup, and it pulls you in every time. But you know what? The market pulls me in. I have to be in because you never know if that will be the time where the market starts some kind of April's rally. And if you're late, then you're late. And I don't want to chase. All right. So I prefer to be chopped, but remaining patient in that chop as long as I don't draw it on too much, right? I'm almost at all-time high on my equity, so I don't care being chopped. I do have traction and cushion to weather that chop. Um, so yeah, remain patient, cope with chop and cope with drawdown as long as you don't draw on too much. The worst thing that you can do is buy strength and have very tight stop loss. That's a sure way to not only get chop, but not having winners to compensate for that chop. All right. So enough with the rent. Uh, let's do it quick because it's already 9. So yeah, price still above a rising 21-day mid structure. We do have that gap this morning as well. So crypto trying to tighten up as well. Solana still above a rising 21-day mid structure. Bitcoin super tight, flagging above that recent swing high. And QQQE we covered. So yeah, I won't stay with TradingView. I won't switch. Um, and yeah, the only thing again, and I repeat myself, and that's probably uh, another reason why the market is still basing and still within that VCP is we didn't see Brett confirm that price action. So despite the fact that we're in a in an uptrend above rising structure, we don't have that breadth to confirm that. So if breadth start to break and we see an acceleration to the downside, then yeah, it will become uh, concerning and a reason to get a bit more defensive. But the price is still above rising structure. We do have a gap up. We're still above that December low on the McClellan oscillator and approaching oversold again. Um, so for me, it's still a market to remain engaged. All right. Portfolio review. Let's do that quickly. Not screener. Um, all right. SNDK, WDC. Those are what is slowly becoming those big winners that are really carrying the portfolio. That's good. Nothing to do. I'm trailing the 21-day mid structure again. Iron shaping nicely. Will probably follow a bit of the Bitcoin in crypto trade, but very close to 2R. Good cushion above the 21-day mid structure. Rocket as well. Daily reversal it's extended, right? But it's good to see a daily reversal. It's just trending higher at this point. And this one as well, trailing the 21 day structure. Wait a minute. What are you doing there? Get out of my portfolio, Reddit. I don't want to see your face. All right. VRT still playing the reclaim and backtest. Yesterday was gap up and fade, but I remain true to my system. We didn't give up the structure. Structure is still holding. Same thing on QBTS, and that's why I kept my exposure last night. All right. Uh, the reclaim and backtest setup, despite the fact that we closed very weak. I don't know if it's because of OPEX today. What are the impact of that? We'll find out. But I remain true to my system, and we didn't give up any structure despite that close yesterday. So I want to see how things goes today, and that's why I kept my exposure. So they're all in the same boat, right? VRT, QBTS, CRDO, OCLO. ALAB closed a bit better above the 21 day structure, but those are all in the same boat. VRT, QBTS, CRDO, OCLO, they need to do well today, close the week strong. Otherwise, that's the name that I will cut at the end of the day. Amazon, so Amzu is right in the 21 day structure, Amazon as well. You have Bitcoin again flagging above the rising 21 day structure, and that's the same thing for Solana. So, quite an interesting picture, and also very pivotal in my opinion, because you have the market with that big multi-month VCP, and at the same time the liquid leaders are trying to shape their 21 DMA structure reclaim and backtest, and they are right in that backtest. So very pivotal today and maybe early next week, not Monday because market is closed, but we'll have more information. Are those backtests of the rising structure holding, and can we push from here and carry on that gap? So yesterday we had gap, it fell. Today we have gap again. Will it hold? Will it fade again? That will be the big question that we'll try to answer today. So more information to gain today again. I don't have a clue what will happen. All I can do is observe the position that I have, and if it fails, then we'll close that exposure and wait for the market to give us another signal. All right, focus list. So Carvana on weakness, looking for that reclaim and backtest that we had ish on January 8th, but that was a very quick one. So maybe we need a bigger backtest, a bit higher. VRT is still setting up on that backtest as well. QBTS as well, just as the whole quantum computing group. And HALAB. HALAB is still setting up as well. You can play the daily reversal pivot or some weakness as we retest the 21 day structure. But with that gap up, I'm not sure we'll have it. And if we have it, that might be following the open, a bit like we had yesterday. So high open, HALAB on the retest of the 21 day structure. That's a bit the kind of entries that I'm looking on a gap up day. All right, so any questions, guys? NVIDIA, yeah. NVIDIA is in my screen, but I decided to let that go as we close below the 21 day structure. We had that gap up on TSM earnings, but I don't know. Maybe we see the rotation back into mega caps, but so far mega caps are really lagging, so I want to not get overexposed on that group of stock. But yeah, it's having that reclaim and back test with that shakeout, not yesterday but the day before. So yeah, there's definitely a setup. You can look for maybe the gap fill, the 21 EMA retest, some weakness. That would provide a nice entry. Yeah, Joby, I looked at it yesterday. Um, it's a bit choppy for my taste, to be honest. A bit low on the liquidity as well. That's why I don't have that. No, I think it's in my scan. Uh, anyway, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's having the reclaim and backtest setup. Uh, but that's a choppy name, so that's why I stayed out of it. Yeah, F. So Art is saying, thanks for education, always laying out your mindset and why and how you think about pushing exposure. Yeah, uh, I think there's way too much people talking about setups. I think that's the big hedge of prime trading as well. Talking about the mindset, why and how we do things. There's far more value in seeing uh, traders day in and out, how they do things, how they think, how they position themselves and the mindset behind, than just giving a constant flow of setup, right? So yeah, Ford, yeah, it's looking good. That big base breakout, falls break, fail breakout, back test, second mouse get the cheese type of setup. So yeah, that's a nice one. Growl, we're back into Argentina. Is it Argentina? I don't have the information. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, we'll not need to add the country. But anyway, yeah, it's a bit wild on the right side, so something to be aware of. I think it's better to wait for some tightening, all right, like those days. Maybe some short, some sort of shakeout, lower in the 21 DME structure. Um, but I think it needs time to tighten up on the right side. Just waiting patiently for the VCP and QQQ to resolve. Uh, so good question about Bitcoin. Um, Let me bring that up. I am in EBIT, so I already trimmed that at 2R, right? Trim was done. And for me, again, if you ask what I do, personally, is to trail the 21 DME structure for the 2/3 of my position. That's my core. That's my runner. That's what I try to hold for the bigger move. And Bitcoin is just tighten up. So nothing to do here. Just being patient. Let's the trend develop. Let's see where it goes. But it's potentially very early, so I don't want to over trim that position either. All right, so we have that big kind of stage one base breakout. We're just drifting lower as we retest that structure with an inside day yesterday. So it's looking very constructive. And yeah, I cannot talk about the 200 DMA. I don't have that on my chart and it's not part of my process. Um, so yeah, everything that I know and that I trade off is the 21 DMA structure. Yeah, I think you're right. Graal is not. Yeah, California. That's my bad. Uh, but yeah, they are health technology, commercial stage. Uh, I think they're more in the software though. Yeah. Okay. Machine learning, software automation. Um, but yeah, they're still at risk of some kind of news about the technology that would create a gap down, and that's why personally I stay away of those names. Would you play something like OT? I think we already discussed that yesterday, right? Yeah, so yesterday what did we discuss is to wait for price to come a bit closer to the 21 DMA structure. And we tapped it yesterday. Really tapped it. So yeah, maybe it needs kind of another day in the structure ish, but yeah, we're really approaching an actionable setup on it. It will likely follow crypto, so we have 3 days weekend. So that's the kind of gap situation that you also are putting you in. So something to be aware as we go into a long weekend. All right, guys. Oh, another one. Cipher. That's always the same names that are coming up again, right? Yes. So we discussed all those names yesterday, and that's the same story as in my new positions as well. VRT, ALAM, CRDO, they all have the same look. Reclaim that failed in December, reclaim backtest, creating higher lows. That's the same setup all over the place in spec land. Uh, so yeah, there's definitely a setup. Um, Same thing for Centrus Energy. That's actually a bit stronger than Oklo, but they are in the same group if I'm not mistaken. Look for some weakness around the 21 DMA. It's a bit extended short term, so just know where to engage. GSAT. Yeah, it's tighten up. Uh, you're playing in the structure though, so hard low as well on the right side, slow drift as we back test. Um, you can go for the reclaim, but that's buying on strength. So maybe you can look at yesterday's high pivot for the daily reversal confirmation. That could be a nice entry, and if you don't close above the 21 DMA structure by the end of the day, then you can call it a failed reclaim attempt and just close the trend, the trade. Sorry. Hoy! It's Friday, guys. Last day of the week. Long weekend. All right, guys. So we'll close that session here if there's no other question, or is there? All right. So take care, everyone. Have a good day. That should be an interesting one. So stay open-minded, stay positive, and we'll react whatever the side the market want to break out or break down, right? So be ready for both scenario, and yeah, accept the risk that you take. That's the cost of trying to position yourself. That's the right way to see it. All right. So take care, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good long weekend as well.